don't have it, all right, fine, take it to county board. But then, I'm saying that if you do this on every position that we have, well, I don't care if it's health and human services, to highway, to custodial staff. The county boards should vote on every position that's
hired, yes.
then you have no need for a personnel committee.
The personnel committee
Everybody's digging their heels in on a different reason.
sets wage policy, administers benefits. The actual decision of cutting, I personally not sure should rest solely on the personnel committee. But I think that's a county board decision. I think with the deputy, I think the real question here is 5-6 years ago, the county board voted to approve 24/7 coverage. And then that's why the last deputy was hired. I think the question back to county board now is, do you still want 24/7 coverage? That's what will drive the deputy position.
So I've got to ask one question. Mr. Peterson, do you and your committee plan on having a forest ranger position reapplied for in personnel?
I have no idea.
Okay.
If the sheriff has the ability to take that position as he sees fit,
Well,
then we failed in designing that position.
I think, looking at the schedule for today, I assume he's back on the job today. What?
No, I am not moving, I'm not moving that position.
You told us one time that today was the
Right,
11th was the
but
day.
like I told my staff, that we're gonna continue as is, waiting for the outcome of this meeting here today. If you folks decide that we're not going to go any further, that the decision of the personnel is done, you're not taking the county board, then he's out of there. The deputy ranger will be back as the deputy sheriff on patrol today. If we don't, if you get on the county board, I plan to hold off until the county board meeting and with the same parameters. But I do have a comment on what Clay said. I think Clay made a good point. That department heads, elected officials, people that are responsible for people, need to make the hard decisions when budget time comes up. Unfortunately, it's not budget time. I'm asking for the opportunity. All I'm asking to do is fill this position that is currently budgeted for 2011. That person, whomever it will be, obviously, unless they're brain dead, would have to realize that December 31st they could be out of a job, just for what's been going on today. They really got to realize that. And it's a tough thing. I have to agree. It's tough to lay people off. It's tough to terminate people. I've been over 20 years, and I bet you I've terminated a dozen people. It's not a pleasant experience. It's not a pleasant experience to lay people off. But if you, once the state has decided what their budget is going to look like, and what you guys have some kind of relatively good idea, what finance would know what is going to be expected for 12, then if the finance says, okay, we're at 0, and here's what we got to cut. And give me an opportunity to make that decision without hopefully taking 24/7 away, or at least without hopefully taking another position that's important and putting them on in patrol. I'm not giving the opportunity. They're basically saying, you're done, take them away, okay, now I gotta fill it. I'm just asking for a shot at it. Now I know that some of the thought process of a lot of county board members are, it's easier to not fill a position to lay people off. I absolutely understand that. Personally, it's a tough thing to do, to sit there and do that. I've done it a lot. It's not a pleasant experience. But there are times when you just have to. And if we have to lay somebody off in 2012, well, then we'll just have to do it. That's the breaks. That's the way life is. We're not going to be able to change that. However, I don't have that opportunity yet. It's just done. I'm just asking for an opportunity to see what your 2012 is going to look like. Fill the position for the end of the year. We keep the deputy sheriff ranger back where he belongs to the end of the year, and then that battle will start. But that's my thought. I agree with what Clay said.
First of all, it's always better to cut through attrition. And if you hire somebody and then have to lay them off at the end of the year, then you're going to end up paying them unemployment for 2 years. Second of all, if then a position, right, I respectfully disagree with you on this. If you have a position in the budget, then why do department heads even come to personnel to fill it? If it's in the budget, then why even have them bring it to personnel? They shouldn't even have to bring it to personnel. All they should do is they should just go out and hire somebody to fill every vacant position they have until the next budget cycle. That's not the way we've operated. It's not the way that I understand the procedures to be. I mean, the positions have always come to personnel, been looked at. It's been basically a rubber stamp because we had money to fill everything. But if you're saying that a position, because it's budgeted, doesn't need to, or should be filled, or have to come to county board, then why even have it come to personnel at all? Just have the department head fill.
I agree, and I think you ask every department head, they say, why do we have to go to personnel? It is budget. And I think the answer is, you said, always. It's just always been that way.
So, I guess we must be operating on some sort of procedure that was set up by county board. Or is it?
I don't know. As long as I've been here, it's just been that way. To me, another reason to go to county board is you got the department head, and in most instances, a committee that's supporting the department head in refilling the position. So they're kind of basing their decision on, we need this. And then you got the personnel committee, who is only basing their decision on, we don't think there's the money. And now, I think that's the reason to go to county board is you got a group that weighs both. Does the need really outweigh the fiscal concern?
But then we need to change our procedure, our policy and procedure.
That's why I think it's worth, I think we need to continue the discussion.
The question I had on the agenda was, is Mr. Peterson and the forfeiting committee going to have somebody reapply for the job, if and when it comes over? Do you think the park ranger is needed? Obviously, we take it.
I can only answer that with a question, that I, just for thought, you know, if we were to lose a position, you know, the funding stays within our department, within a position. And let's just hypothetically, so we hire somebody to fill that position, and then the 2012 budget cuts one of Terry's positions, I'm right back where I started. Is the sheriff going to come back and take the position again? You know, are we creating a system where the park ranger deputy sheriff is nothing but a spare deputy to take when things get tight and positions have to be cut in the sheriff's department? If that's, you know, and it appears to me that that potential exists, then there's really no sense in me, you know, or the committee trying to refill that position, because we're just going to lose it.
But this time your committee hasn't taken that on.
We have not. We're waiting to see what the final outcome is.
Okay.
And I guess I would say that the sheriff, you know, looking at it budgetarily, could take the position. Well, I don't think he can, because county board resolution says that
How about not take,
the
reassign?
operational
Reassign.
budget control is in the forestry department. So I would say that the sheriff is trying to overstep the county board's resolution creating the position. But even if he did do that, at the end of the year, when the new budget cycle starts, if he doesn't have the money, he would have to cut the position. He won't have the money in his budget. If they cut the position, he won't have the money in the budget for next year, so he couldn't rob the park ranger because he's got no funding to pay for it, because it doesn't say the funding would follow. It says that the funding is in the forestry budget. So he would have a position next year without funding. That's
Yeah,
my
question.
understanding of the way things are